Hello, once again. As you tell, my piece has finished. It's dry. I had it covered, so hopefully no dust had gone on it. And so just lightly dust it with your hand, because today we're going to resin it. And I do apologize for the background noise. I have 2 air purifiers going on at the same time to try and eliminate as much as the dust in the air as possible, and also dog hairs, because my dogs tend to come in my room. Right now they are banned since I am going to resin this beautiful piece. So I've mixed up my resin already. It's in a cup, and it's 1 part resin and 1 part hardener. I measured them with this and went up to the first line because it has to be match 1-to-1 ratio. So I used the Envirotex resin. This is the resin and this is the hardener. It will seal that way. So I like these Envirotex because they are low odor, no VOCs, and always wear a mask when you're resining, because even though it says low odor, there is still some odor to it. But I do have 2, like I said, 2 air purifier going on, and my room is hot because one thing the resin does not like is cold, and I believe your room should be no lower than 75 degrees, and between 75 and 80 is the ideal condition for working with resin. So my room is probably past 85s and it should be fine. So when you get this, all you want to do is kind of like stir it together. When you put the hardener in first and then you put the resin looks like as if it's stringy. So once they're fully combined is when you no longer see the stringiness of the resin. So you'll see air bubbles, but don't worry about that. Make sure you have some kind of light blaring on it so that you can see any hair, dust motes, bubbles, or parts of the resin that parts of the platter didn't get a resin when you thought you had resined it already. And make sure you wear gloves. Gloves are a must for this process. You will need the resin of your choice. This happens to be Envirotex. Got it on sale. Stir stick. I got myself a heat gun. Purchased this on Amazon for like $15, and it came with some parts to it, so I thought that was a good deal, you know, for something inexpensive. And it's called Galaxy Pro. So yeah, I paid like 15 something for it. And of course you'll need a torch with hopefully butane on it. Yeah. And don't forget what I said. Do not light your torch on top of your piece, because sometimes there's a flick of something, like a, I don't know, something comes off on these and then lands on your piece. It happened to me once. So I try to remember not to turn on. I turn it to the side away from my work area, or on the piece that I'm working on, and then do my popping the bubble motion. Don't stay in one spot and burn the resin. You don't want that, because there's fumes that will come off that, and that smoke is what's bad for you. let me get this in the center. I'm going to go around. I'm going to leave. Maybe that's not enough. I might need more. Okay, so I know I need the edges done. So I'm going to start with my edges. Where I put the resin on, just take a little bit at a time and wipe your edges with it. Just a small thin coat on your edges is fine. We're just protecting. This is a top coat to protect this wonderful, beautiful piece, or a piece that you create. So my previous video, there is no sound. I might have to do a voiceover if I can even remember what the heck I said. My forte is not remembering anything. You know, I plead senior moments. Okay, I think we've gone all around it, but we're still going to make sure. We're gonna go back, make sure that it's fully, you know, covered. Because just when you think you covered it, you haven't. Because believe me, I've been resining now I've resined quite a few pieces, and it always amazes me that I knew I've gone over the spot, and yet it's missing some resin. Okay, now let's go the inside. And I'm using my gloved hand because I kind of like playing with resin. It's almost like a massage for your hands, for your finger. It feels so smooth. It's just remember not to touch your skin with the gloved hand, or your torches, your heat gun, with resin on your hand. So just keep going around until the resin, because this is self-leveling, this resin, so it says so. And I did test the level of this Lazy Susan, and it was pretty right on the money. Because I think I got the inside fully covered, and there's the word, you think. I think I have it fully covered, but we'll see what the resin has to say. Ooh, my shoulder is getting tired. Okay, I think we got it. I'm going to go around the sides again, because this is important. This is the part that we sanded off, and so we have to make sure that it is fully covered so that our napkin does not fray. Because like I said, it is a delicate piece, especially if it hasn't been properly sealed. So hopefully I sealed it enough last night. I did only one coat of my Mod Podge satin because I knew I didn't want to do too many coats because I knew I was going to resin this piece. Now, as I was saying on my previous video that there was no sound on, if you weren't planning on using this and you're just planning on decorating it, I would just seal it 3 times with the Mod Podge, and then take a very, very good varnish, spray varnish, and I would just spray it. Mod Podge has a good varnish out there, and I forgot what, oh, Krylon. That's the other one I use, and it was called Triple Thick. Ugh. Taking off the one glove and put another glove on. I didn't put a lot of resin on this, but I don't want to touch my torch. I'm going to use my heat gun first. Just turn it on, let it heat up a second, and then go around. It is popping the bubbles. Some of the bubbles anyway. Some of the bubbles we might have to use our torch with. I hope you can hear me. And the sides are just as important to pop bubbles with, even though it's just a light layer that we put on, it still needs to have the bubbles pop, because you might not see them to the naked eye. And I see, let me get my tweezer, I see a dust mote. Where is it? That's where the light comes in handy. Oh, where did it go? Dust mote right there. So this is when the light comes in handy. You do it as close to your work as possible, and then kind of glance like this to see, and turn it to see if you can spot anything else. So I'm going to use the torch to pop some of these bubbles. This looks like it crystallized. Ooh, I had hair on the doggy hair. Oh, and it stayed. Look at that. Can you see it? The little piece of hair. That's Loki's. That's why I banned them from coming in here. There was another one. Look at that. Wow, I can see the bubbles popping. I'm trying to remove the dust motes before I pop them with the... Okay, let's torch. Let me see. Oh, I moved you guys, so... Remove the light. Okay, let's torch. I'm facing the torch away from my product. Oh, I don't know what's wrong with these torches. Something here. So it's good to leave a little bit of resin, because it looks like maybe it didn't get enough resin there. like there's something there too. Some of the bubbles may come from the napkin itself, like it, you know, there might be air pockets in some areas where the glue didn't get in there. But this is what our torch is for. Wherever you put the more resin on, make sure you torch that part. Need a little bit there. Some of these might just be glue that didn't fully flatten out, and that's what we could be seeing. Like I said, this will self-level. That's why that light comes in handy. And once you're done using your equipment, if you get any resin on them, make sure you wipe them down with some either baby wipes or alcohol. Alcohol is best. Because resin will come off with alcohol. My resin's starting to get thick. I believe it stayed in one spot too long. So I am not going to look at the ripples, because I'll just put a little bit more resin to them. Take my heat gun. That's this part over here looks like didn't get any resin. Don't worry too much, because I'm pretty sure this is going to need 2 coats, because we do have that lump. So this is a top coat. Just here's, I think, a hair, right? There's a hair. Make sure there's no hair on your look how thick this resin has become. It's almost being rendered useless. Okay, that's all we can do about this. This will need a second coat because you could tell that the napkin is popping up from the resin. Okay, the resin is being overheated. We are done. This will need a second coat. I hope you enjoyed this, and this is what it looks like. I'm going to clean my equipment, make sure that there's no residue of resin, and like right over here, this is the area where we're going to need to focus, because that's where the napkins are still sticking up, and it's going to be pitted right there. And there's nothing I can do because my resin hardened up, started to harden up on me. So, well, until next time. So my next project with this napkin would probably be a clock. Same way this is made. So, I don't know when that will be, so stay tuned for that. Hello, welcome back. So, our my Lazy Susan has dried his let me bring you down so I can show you what I'm talking about. Okay, let's see. Over here, as you can tell, there's a pit there where our resin didn't stick, and then another one close to it, and then there's some bubbles, air bubbles right there. That could be because the napkin, and it looks like there's a right here, I don't know if you can see it, looks like a doggy hair. So those have got to go, so that's why we need to do a second coat. I knew I was going to need to do a second coat on this because the napkin has ripples to it. I mean, it didn't lay quite flat because the glue for one, and then the other is just natural for the napkin, since it's so delicate, to wrinkle up a bit. So I knew I was going to have to do a second coat to this. So let me pause you, stop the film here, and put you back on the tripod, and we'll commence. Okay, let's get started. So now what you want to do is lightly sand this. I got a 220 sandpaper, and I'm just gonna sand where the bubbles are at. Yes, I know we're sanding. What about the scratches? Don't worry, the resin will cover that up, and it'll have something to adhere to. It's best to do this outside so you don't get resin dust all over you, and to wear a mask. I don't have one on me because I forgot, but I'm trying not to dust up. Okay, that should be good. I should have gotten all of the air bubbles. Little dust particles, those dust motes, I'm telling you, they will ruin your work anytime. That and dog hair, or pet hair. So you want to make sure you scuff those up really, really well. Okay, that should be enough. Now I'm going to take some fully lint-free and I'm going to spray it with some water. Clean it so that the dust doesn't get in the air. And I'm going to take some alcohol. Clean it with isopropyl alcohol, rubbing alcohol. So it's nice and scuffed, and I have the resin already mixed. I'll let this dry a second. Stir I think the reason why my resin started thickening up is that my room was hotter than 80 degrees. So I'm talking a little bit louder because I have two side-by-side air purifier plus the air conditioner going on. So I apologize if you can't hear me all that well. I'm trying to talk. My microphone quit working on me. Purchased them the end of March. April, May, June, July. So barely 4 months. And within that 4 months, I barely used them because I didn't start recording right away. Okay, so I'm gonna pour as much of this as I can, but leaving just a tiny bit in the cup, just in case we see some bare spots. Okay, so I'm gonna spread it. Don't forget this edging right here. That also needs resin. I've been having these two air purifier running since yesterday. So I'm hoping that will reduce the dust smoke. Should be good. I did lay it on thick. Let me pop the bubbles. I gotta change both of my gloves. Both are covered with resin. Ooh, I can see the bubbles. Dust motes. I swear you cannot get rid of them. There's a hair there. Let's try and torch it. Don't forget the sides, because you have resin back on the sides, so you do need to make sure that you don't have any air bubbles there also. Let's take a look-see. Looks like a hair right here. Come on, that's how you move. There we go. Look at that. Can you see it? Piece of doggy hair. And looks like a hair here. Look at that. Look at that. You see that? My goodness. I don't know where they're coming from. And then once I'm done looking for dust motes and torching, torch the air bubble like every 10 minutes for the next hour or so. Maybe I should have put the call that glitter on this so you can't distinguish the glitter from the dust. Okay. I think I got all my nemesis. Now let me do the center. There's the dust smoke there. Make sure there's nothing in the center. Make sure you have the light flashing right on it, and then you're looking on the side, down sideways. You see more that way than you do looking up above it. Okay, looks like I got everything. So let's torch it one more time. And then I'm going to cover it, stay here, and I'm going to let you guys go. Have a good day. Bye. Oops. Good morning, and it's time for the unveiling. You do not know what I went through after I did a second coat with you guys. I covered it up with my little umbrella here, and I made sure that none of the sides were touching it, because you don't want to ruin your piece and also your pretty little picnic umbrella here. Well, when I opened it, there was dog hair and a piece of string that must have fallen off of this thing. I was livid. Those were the only two things that was on this piece that drove me nuts, that I had to do a third coat. And this time on the third coat I put sparklies. I don't know if you could tell. So here's the the finished product. Let me take a look at it with you guys and hope, cross your fingers, that no more doggy hair. Dust motes, you won't be able to tell because of the sparkles that I put on this. So let me get my my butler's gloves, because I don't want to put any type of fingerprints on this. And I am going to take a look and see if we got any more hair on this. Sat here close to 2 hours spinning this, making sure that there was no hair. That is so frustrating when you resin a piece. I don't know how other people can do it. Okay, the sides doesn't have anything. Let me check the middle. Wow, we did it, y'all. Oh, I'm so happy. Now, before the resin fully cures, we have to remove our green backing. So I probably have to remove one of my, let me put something on my little table so that nothing gets on our little piece here. Nothing mars it. Yeah, I said, you know what? I'm sick and tired of those dust motes ruining my piece. So I put glitter on it. I put the same type of glitter that I did with the coasters. And the exact same thing I'm going to put when I make the clock and the trivets. I love that glitter. I'll remove my... So... I am so happy that I do not have to do a fourth coat on this. Resining is a frustrating job, especially if you're a novice like me. I'm learning as I go. I watch more than a couple of resin videos before I try it myself. As you notice, I'm taking it off without heating these because I didn't fully let this cure. It's allowing me. The resin is soft enough that it's allowing me to remove it. Now, in some areas, like where the tape stuck to our napkin piece, I'm gonna try and remove it with my nails first because I don't want the resin on the side to soften also. You notice I'm either pulling up on this or pulling it this way. You don't want to pull it this way where you might open up your napkin. You don't want to do anything that'll peel back the resin and the napkin. turn it this way and see the E6000. It's a pretty tough glue. It's better than crazy glue. This one I might have to use the blower on, but we shall see. Yeah. Now, let me get it and plug it in. I'm going to use my little $15 blowtorch or blow gun. What the heck? Heating gun. Heat gun. Let it heat up first. And don't leave it in one spot. Let's see if that worked. Don't put it on your fabric. Look at that. Also, it can also, what you call it, serve as a gun holder. Yeah, there goes my doggies. Turn it my way again. Boy, that blowtorch can heat up really quick. Now our back is going to be a little bit rough. I'm going to try and smooth it with the sanding block. So we're gonna, it's a little bit rough around the edges here. So I'm gonna try a sanding block. If you have a Dremel, go ahead and use one. I have one that I purchased at Walmart. It's a generic brand of Dremel. I love this thing. This works as well as a Dremel for a fraction of the price. I paid $18.88 for this. For a Dremel that didn't even come in a case like this, was what, $50-something. So for the job that you're going to be needing this, I would get this. It's called Hyper Tough. I purchased it at Walmart, like I said, and it works really well. I keep it inside the case. And as you notice, I still have everything. And it's a very powerful tool. And look at that. All the stuff are kept contained in a case. So I can't use it right now because I don't have a mask in here. and you do not want to be, because this will blow all the resin bits in the air, and you don't want to use it indoors like that, and breathe in the fumes. Oops, let me put this thing. But if you're thinking about getting a Dremel, but you're not going to be using it for a lot of stuff, I would think about getting this. So let me put it over here. So if you don't have that, try a sanding block like this, and this probably won't do the trick. A sandpaper, because it was meant to just really remove the paper prior to resin. Now that it has a resin on it, we'll probably need a stronger sandpaper, but you get the drift. You have to smooth this out a little bit so that you don't cut your finger on it. But anyway, I'll do that off camera. You could see, look at that. Lazy Susan. That got me dizzy. Let me bring you down, and hopefully you can see the glitter that I put in there. It's just a light thing of glitter. You don't go heavy-handed on it. I didn't even open the top. I let the glitter that was on the cap go on it. So let me bring it down. You see the glitter? The light? Look at that. It's beautiful, isn't it? And this time I had no dog hair. So let me put you back up. This resin, sorry for my finger. So the resin hasn't fully cured. I think the instruction says it takes about 72 hours to fully cure. So I'm going to wait on sanding the back until it fully cures, because I don't want the napkin to rip. I just want to get rid of the sharpness of the resin on the edge right here. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed my journey with this, and I don't know if I'll do the trivets on film that for you. I'm not going to be doing that right now, because I have other things that I have to take care of. Let me know in the comments if you want to see how I do the trivets. It's basically the same way how I did the coasters. But I will, when I do the clock, I will definitely show you how I do the clock. Okay, so until next time, I hope you have a good morning and a good day. It is going to be a scorcher out there. So stay cool and see you next time. Bye.